Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my Craete CRM ticket system using MERN stack from scratch. In previous tutorial, we created login page and the password reset form. So in this tutorial, we are going to create some layouts. We will have our header and footer in the layout, and we will create this dashboard page where we have like a layout, this dashboard page in our layout where we have a header with menu, logo, and the breadcrumb, a ticket button, and the recently added ticket. Similarly, we will have our add new ticket form with the form here, and with the breadcrumb, header, footer is part of the layout. And we have a validation, some validation here. Let's say if you don't have the valid data, it will say subject is required. So all the code will be in the GitHub, and the link for the GitHub is in description below. Hey, if you are here for the first time, my name is Prerequisite from Dented Code. I create tutorials related to programming and web development. If it sounds interesting to you, subscribe the channel and turn on all the notifications so that you don't miss any of my tutorials. So let's jump into the coding now. Okay guys, this is the Trello board where we broke down our project. So we're going to continue from where we left last time. So today in our to-do list, doing list, we have a dashboard, a ticket listing, and a landing page. Let's see how long it's gonna take. If it's gonna take too long, I'm gonna break down this tutorial to multiple episodes again. If we do it quicker, maybe I'll leave as one long video. Let's see. This is the code we have here. So let's start working on the dashboard page. Before doing that, I want to create the layout first, page layout, because we need the header and footer. So we don't want to create header and footer for individual page individually. So we create layout, and then we import the header and footer and use that header and footer layout page for all the pages. Okay, let's do that. So I'm gonna leave this one open and close everything else. Okay, we have app open here. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna open a folder called layout in the SRC folder, layout, and inside layout I'm gonna have a folder called a file called default layout, default.js, and I'm gonna create a couple folder. I'm gonna create a partial folder here, and also okay, so what I'm gonna do, we quickly write down header and footer here. Let's create a React arrow functional component saying, yeah, this is header, and just save that. I'm gonna do the same thing with footer and say footer, because I want to import this footer and this header in our layout page here. So let's create a React arrow function here as well, and default layout. And what I want here is header, okay, we have imported header and footer from the partials, and then we have imported in our default layout. So our main content will go here, and is content. And now let's import this one in our app.js page. So default layout inside app. So here, let's I want to comment this entry out for now, and under there let's import the default layout. So this is the I imported the the extension automatically imports the file whenever I type here. Okay, so this is from the layout, default layout, which is here, this one. Okay, now if we run this application, see what happens. Okay, here is the page which is loading now, guys. This will look pretty ugly. We're going to make it nice looking in a minute. So let's go to our partial folder where the header is JS. So here what we're going to do is we're going to use a component from React-Bootstrap. So we're going to use Navbar. This is the Navbar component. So let me show you in the bigger screen. This is the one. So I'm gonna get few of this one, and whichever we need, I'm gonna use that first. Okay. So I'm not just copying and pasting all of them. So I'm gonna just use what we needed. So I need two things first. I need to import Navbar and nav. They must be capital. Okay, and here instead of div, I'm gonna have Navbar, and inside Navbar we're going to start creating the menu. So first we're going to need to have the brand. So let's create the brand. Brand is basically where you put the company logo. So here logo goes normally. We'll put logo in a second. I just want to lay out the list first and then update them. Okay, so we got the brand, and we need toggler, Navbar and toggle. We need Navbar toggle here. Let's give a attribute area control basic Navbar nav, and this is self-closing tag. So we need the collapsible Navbar here. So Navbar.collapse, yeah, and let's give ID same as area control. So basic Navbar nav, and just close the tab, and inside this tab we need to now create actual nav. So this is the actual menu. We're gonna have it here. Inside nav we will have nav link, nav.link, and here comes with the href attribute. Okay, for example, dashboard, and close it and say, so this is the routing page for the URL, and this is what it looks on the menu. So dashboard. So I'm gonna make 3 copies of this. Make this one tickets probably, and the logout. Okay, let's save it and see how it's gonna. So okay, now you see it's looking pretty. Still you can't see much different. So for the logo, I have one logo. I want to put that logo. So let's create I created using Figma quickly. It took me literally 2 minutes to make it. So inside SRC folder, I want to create another folder called assets, and inside asset folder I'll put img folder, and let me copy the image. So this is the logo we're going to put. That's like very simple one. Okay, let's import that one in our header. So here you import image as a variable. So importing from one step, we need to go 2 step, assets, and the image, and that image file logo. Isn't there logo? .png, and this one I'm gonna call it a logo. So now what we can do in our logo, simply we put image here. In our SRC tab source, just provide the logo variable, and here say logo. And I'm gonna give width. I'm gonna give width to 50 pixel. And save it. Now we'll see a little different here. Let me make a little. Okay, there's our logo showing up. I wanna do a few things here. So I want the menu to be collapsible on click. So I'll say collapse on select, and BG is for background. Gonna give dark, and then the variant I'm gonna give dark, and the background I'm gonna give info, same color as the main color on our login page, and we're going to have mobile view expand on bigger screen, and if it is MD means medium size screen, so the mobile view menu. Okay, save the file. So that's for the navbar. Now you can see the different already, the logo here, and this is the navbar. Okay, this is on mobile view. So if we make it bigger, okay, menu are here, but I don't like menu here. I want those menu go on the right hand side. Okay, to fix that we need to say let's give a margin left auto on our nav links, because this is the container holding this list. So what we're gonna do, give a utility class called margin left auto. Save that. Now they are pushed to the right, and if you make it smaller, it's mobile view. Okay, and see, this is, or you see collapse on select. That means every time I select the menu, it will collapse back. Okay, that's all for the header. Let's do the footer quickly. I'm going to close the header for now. Okay, let's go to our footer. In footer component, I'm just going to say a line of information saying copy CRM, all right, reserved 2020. This is not the best information you can put as a copyright, but you got the point, right? So let's put the class name. I'm gonna say text center. This is the Bootstrap utility class, and I'm gonna say if I want to put any extra CSS, I can write on this class. So okay, we got this one. Let's fix this a little bit on our layout first before we go ahead. I want to manage this page a little bit, okay, with the footer, header, and the main content. So I want to write some custom CSS in our app.js, because we are writing CSS for the layout. So instead of creating one CSS layout here, CSS file here, simply let's write in our app.cs, because it's still on top level. So go to app.css, and here what I want to write is, okay, let's organize a little bit here in our layout. I'm gonna give a class name default layout. This is for us to write the custom CSS, and everything goes inside this div, and we're going to have header. Okay, we don't need the external one. Okay, inside here, so we're gonna have a header div. Inside header div, we will import the the header component we imported. Let's put inside our header class, and let's create a main here for the main content. So I'll say main.main. So that means the class name is main. So this is our, all the page and all the content will go in here. And for the footer, simply we do the same thing. So we put, it's a semantic element, guys, okay, the main and footer, so, and the header. So I'm gonna give class name footer as well, and here we're going to import that footer. So for the header as well, let's give semantic element called header and save the file. So we got header, we got footer, and we got main content area here. So nothing more changed here yet. Now we're going to apply some CSS in our file here through the app.js. So okay, so there, let's save the file, and I want to close this footer as well. And app.css, let's go app.css and then put some CSS for our default layout first, which is default layout class name. In here we're going to have some, first I want to make this one grid layout. where the top stays top, bottom stays bottom, and the main content takes the most of the space. So to display grid, and then we're going to have a grid template. We're going to have a row of 1 row, 2 row, 3 row, and 1 column for the grid layout. So we're going to have a 3 rows where the first one, the top header one, I'll give 80 pixel for the menu, and the default for the auto for the main area, and the bottom I'll give 3 rem. So it will take 80 pixel here. Footer will take 3 rem, and then rest of the space will be given to the main content area. Okay, so this is how you define the grid layout for the grid template, and then we have to specify the grid template area. So what I'm gonna do, grid template area. I have already explained about the grid template properly in the one of my CSS tutorial. If you are new to grid CSS, and if you want to learn more about it, go you can check in the one of my CSS grid tutorial. So here we need to define 3 area. So we're going to need, let's say, header, and we need main area, main, and footer. Okay, so we have to define, we have defined the 3 area here. So first one 80 pixel, second one auto, and footer third one. But we need to reference this one, so the grid template does not understand by itself. So we need to tell, explicitly tell here which one is the header. For example, we have our layout here. Let's call this header, main, and footer. So let's install this header. At the header, first thing, the grid, give the grid area. Grid area, that's it. So this header value comes from here. So that means whatever you have written here will apply to it. I have another one. We have a main element, give grid area main as well. That's what we are using here. And the other one is footer. If I can spell main and then the footer. So we are using footer as well for this one. So this will understand now. And inside here, we can provide custom CSS for header, main, and footer for themselves as well. So for the main, I want to provide mean height. Minimum height is 88 viewport height. And for the footer, I want to give background black. Padding around the div about 1 rem, and then the color for the text color is white, so that we can see when we have a black background. Let's set that. Now you can see it's gone here. See, this is the header and this is the footer. Okay, so footer will always stay on the foot now. I mean, not on the foot, always stay on the at the bottom. So all the content we are going to write in the middle. So that's our menus done. So these are not going to do anything at the moment. This is just the creating menu. So okay, our basic layout is done. Now all we have to do is that every time we create component, for example, okay, I'm just going to close the this one for a second, app.css. So now every time we make any component or app in app.js, we can simply call the default layout and wrap up whatever you want to show in the main content area. So what happens here is that everything you pass here, send page Waht. So we're going to send page components here like this. So we are wrapping page component inside the default layout. So in this way, what happens, whatever you send through here, it will be received inside the default layout as a children props. And inside the main area here, instead of main content, now we can simply change, provide the children props and save it. And there you go. Now you can see this and the page component. So we don't have to touch our default like anymore, unless you want to create different default style, different layout style for some sort of specific page. You can add another file and say, okay, maybe layout with the left column or layout with 2 columns of whatever you want to create. This is just the idea how you do it. So that's pretty much with the layout. So we don't even have to come anymore here because we're already passing the props as a children and displaying here. So I'm going to close it for now here. And what we're going to do, we're going to create a dashboard page and then pass here as a component. Okay, so we're going to have a dashboard here soon. Layout is done. So let's quickly push this one commit into our commit staging. So okay, make sure no file is deleted. Okay, I'm gonna do git add, git commit, layout is added, and just leave that, so that when we start working on other section and if we have any issue, we can just simply clean up the file. Okay, now what we're gonna do is start creating actually a dashboard. So let's go to a page where we're going to create a folder called dashboard, and inside I'm going to create a file called dashboard page. Okay, in our dashboard page we can have few things. Okay, let's functional error component first, and instead of div we're going to wrap up everything in our container, and inside container we need row and the column for the thing, column. Okay, here first thing first, let's add some buttons. We're gonna need a button as well then. So let's create button, and I'm gonna say add new ticket, and here we're gonna give some extra class. Let's bring the dashboard here in our app page so that we can see the live update while we're saving the file. That's what I like to do normally. So we import the file. Guys, just make sure you import the file as well, okay? Okay, and we wrap up inside the layout so that we have the menu and then footer, header and footer. Okay, so by default the button has this color, so let's change the variant to info. That's what we are using as our primary color. So it will change the text, the font background of the button. And also what I want to do is give some style for making button bigger. I'm gonna have a style. What I'm gonna do is, first thing, I'm gonna give font size really bigger. Not really. Font size 2 Arial, and oops guys, you need to put this one in the quotation because it's an object. 2 Arial, and I also want to give padding to top and bottom 10 pixel, right and left 30 pixel. So let's wrap this one in the quotation. Now Okay, now you can see the button is bigger. So let's put this one in the center and little bit on the lower. So it's not really good. Pass some utility class on the volume. So class name, I'm gonna first thing have a text center, and margin top I'll give about 5, and margin bottom let's give 2. Save that. Okay, now you can see that text center bringing everything in the center. Top M5, sorry, margin top 5 and margin bottom 2. Okay, so that is pretty much with the button for now, and let's work the count section here. The count section is definitely gonna be looking different than what we have here, guys, so don't mind that. Okay, we just put some text bottom section. So what we're gonna do here is also font is too big or what? Okay, so we will create another row now again. So what I can do, I can simply copy this and then start changing here. So we don't need the button. The total ticket, for example, 50, and another div, I'm gonna say pending tickets maybe 5. This is just the counter, and this is going to be on the text center as well, and pending ticket. Okay, that's not what I wanted. Too far. Let's put it back a little bit. Okay, so this is the ticket count part is done, and let's get this total ticket. So the bottom ticket count part. So we need a component that will have the table. So let's go and create another row where we can have our table. So let's do this quickly. What I'm gonna say here is copy this down. This is just the text information. Say recently added tickets, and from here I'm gonna give horizontal line to make some sort of separation. This is not what I want again. Margin top 2. All right, so I'm gonna have another row now where we will have actual table. So you can have a table here. So I'm gonna just keep name recent ticket class, just in case if I want to apply some custom class here. So let's go to our component folder, and we will create a component. I'm going to create a folder in component called ticket table, if I can spell it, ticket table, and inside I'm going to create a component file called ticket table.component.js, and this is also React arrow functional component. So here I'm gonna need some okay, let's remove this first. Table here, I'm just gonna say that, and I will import this one in our dashboard. Here we will use our component. Instead of building ticket here, we'll have a component call so that the file is more neat, clean, and organized. So we need to definitely import this if it is not imported. Okay, let's import it. So this one is, you need to go 2-step up, component, and inside ticket table here, and the ticket table.component, and the component name is ticket table. And let's use the one they already used. Now save, the error will go, and you'll have the table, not the table, the word table. Okay, now we don't have to do anything here. Let's go to our component table and create the actual table. So to create the actual table, we're going to bring some component from the React-Bootstrap component library. So here, first thing first, we need to import table from our React strap table, and instead of div we are going to have the table, and inside the table we have table head, and inside table head we have a tr, and inside tr we have thus. We're gonna need about 4 of the volume. So the first one I'll just put sequential number, and the second one I'm gonna have subject, third one status, and the fourth one is ticket open date. Okay, and we're gonna have a table body. Nope, not there. Let's have the table body. Inside table body we have a tr, and td we have 4 as well. So sample, this is just a sample. I'm gonna say 1 SSL issue client. This is, I just put some static data here, guys, so don't worry about it. In a second we will have a sample file, dummy data file, and then we'll fetch the data from the dummy file. So this is what the table looks like. I want to design a little bit more, not happy with that. So for the table I want first, let's make it multiple lines so that we see if there is any different. So we have 3 data there, 3 rows. So I want first stripped, and I want the how it looks. Let's see. Okay, that's not bad, but I also want to have the border, and and since we're going to have a click event in the future, you go to the ticket landing page, I want to have the hover effect as well. So just write down hover effect and save that. It will give you the hover effect now. There you go. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the table, guys. Let me create the data, dummy data, so that you'll see how to populate data using some map function. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'll create assets. Inside assets, I'm gonna create a folder called data. Inside data, I'm gonna have a file called dummy ticket.json file, and I'm gonna start writing some JSON. So we need, it's an array, and inside array we're gonna have object. Inside object, how many things we need? ID, subject, status, and open date. So we need ID, let's say 1. We need status, let's say blind, ending, and also we have the created at date, and we have a added at some random date. I'm just gonna put whatever. Oh, that's not even valid month. Let's make 10 23. Okay, this is like just a sample data. We have like ID, we have subject, and edit. So I'm gonna make few copy of this, guys, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just copy. So what I have done here is guys, that I made 10 copy of the sample data, and I just changed the ID because ID can be unique. So let's import this dummy file into our dashboard page, and we pass down to our ticket table as a props. So here, let's quickly import the file. Import tickets from, let's provide the path to your dummy ticket. So that's in assets and inside data, and the file name is dummy ticket. .json, and we just pass this ticket as a props to our table, and let's receive the ticket in our table, ticket table here as a props, and we just run this ticket and as a map here, and then we display the ticket here. So let's do that. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna need header. So in our table body, we only need one table, and okay, let's keep 2 rows first. So if we have a ticket.length, oops, this has to be in the bracket, guys. If we have ticket.length, then display this table to, display this row. So what do you want is, you want to do ticket.map. When you run the map function, you get row, and okay, I don't need that. So you get row, and simply you can run this return in this function here like that. And since we have a row, now we have access to all the property of this object. So we have here, we have ticket.id, and we have ticket.subject, and we have ticket.status, and the date added at. So and we need to, guys, when you are looping the element in React, you always have to provide unique ID for the holding container, otherwise it will throw the error. Maybe I'll just show you first so that you know what I'm talking about. Go to console. Okay, we already have an error. Font size, did you mean font size? Okay, where did we make mess? In our button, in our dashboard page. Let's go fix that quickly. Dashboard button. Okay, yeah. Font, oops, font size. Okay. That's gone, error, and another error pops up. Check the rendering method, ticket table, unique key. See, this is what I'm talking about. Each child in a list should have unique key props. That's what it is saying whenever you have rendering multiple table through the loop. So here, to fix that error, so simply provide the key and the unique value. Unique value is our row.id. If you don't have unique value on your data like this, what you can do, you can get index, because when you run the map function, you get the row out of this collection, and then you also get the index of it. So you can use I here. But for now, just leave row.id. And if we save it, the error will go, and then we should have list. Okay, we got 10 of this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 10 here. This is coming from our dummy data here. The bottom one, last one, is I left it because what I want to do instead of and, so let's do ternary operation. If we have a length of the ticket, do represent this one in our table. If you don't have it, that you say otherwise, else, like that colon defines else, display this table. But what I'm going to do, instead of leaving all the data here, I only want one table here, sorry, column here, and say no ticket to show, and it's gonna have like, let's say for example, if I comment this, for example, if there is no ticket, let's say if I just delete for a second, if there is no ticket, it will say no ticket to show, because there is no ticket coming through here, right? So it looks like pretty funny. It should be all over here, I mean covering all up on our the row. So to make that, we can just simply give a class and then fix that thing. So what we're gonna do here is that tell the browser to take up police span to 4, because we have 4 rows here. Take 4, and so as 1, and I want to use the class name called text center so that the text goes in the center. Yeah, that looks much better now, guys. Now I can put the ticket back and save it. So in the future, when you have a real data coming from our API, we will limit to 10. Okay, that is all for our recently added ticket and our dashboard. So let's see if any error in our console. Seems all right. So let's quickly add this one and commit to our stage. So git add git commit edit. I just stage out code, but I just realized that there is something is missing. How about we put breadcrumb here? Looks a little nicer. So let's get the breadcrumb from our breadcrumb. Okay, here. This is how it looks nicer. So I want to create a component called, I'm just going to copy this one, guys, okay, quickly. So I'm going to create another component in our component folder called breadcrumb, and inside that I want to create a file name called breadcrumb.comp.js and just create React arrow functional component, and this is only breadcrumb, and here I'm gonna put breadcrumb, and what I want to do here is that we need home goes in the home, just put in the /, and active means the one which is not clickable, which means the current page. So we don't have any page like a library in our case, so we don't need the library. Just remove that for now. Yeah, we only need 2 at the moment, and I want to receive the page name here and pass this one as a props here. So whenever we have dashboard, we'll pass dashboard here and it will show dashboard like that. So let's bring this one, go to our file here. Let's bring this one to our dashboard page. On the top, let's create another row for it. Row and give a column. Inside the column, let's call the breadcrumb. Breadcrumb. And we have a props waiting for us. That's page, and this is dashboard page, and save that. And we messed it up, didn't I? Let's see where. So call. I need to close this component, and this component is not imported. Let me import the component. Okay, go to component and breadcrumb and the breadcrumb.comp, and the name of the file, sorry, the component is breadcrumb. Okay, save the file. Okay, there is something error going on, I'm not sure what. Breadcrumb, whoa, what's this? Okay, our built-in component class. Okay, you know what happened here? Let's go to breadcrumb, because we did not import our breadcrumb. That's why it's keep looping it. I don't know why it's just not throwing the error and stop the compiling process. So don't do that, guys. Make sure to import the component before you use them. Okay, this seems like have a file name collision issue. So in that case, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna write maybe page at the front to make the, because the breadcrumb component and the name of this component is same, it's not allowed. So let's put page component here, save this file, and update this in our dashboard page as well, here and here. Now that should not show me that many error. Okay, still going. That means what the best thing I'm gonna do is stop the file, Control C, and then I'll rerun it. Let me close that. and I'm gonna do npm run again, npm start. So it will open in the new window. So okay, here you go, guys. The page is loaded. There you go. It's a nice breadcrumb, but I want a little bit of space here. Let's go to our header page. I want to give a little bit bottom space from the menu. So let's go to our header component, and let's go to our layout, and here let's give margin bottom 2 for now. Okay, now there is a little gap. There you go. So that's what I like. So we got the nice looking breadcrumb here. So this is going to be home, and every time which page we are on, it will display the page here. So I want to add this one in our commit as well quickly. Okay. All right. Okay. Now one thing is done. What we gotta do here is, so now I can probably drag it to done part. So let's do add new ticket page component. We work on that one. That's a little form. Okay. So this page doesn't do anything. So what I'm gonna do is, let's create a page folder. In our page folder, I wanna do new ticket. Okay, inside add new ticket, I want to create a file called add ticket page.js, and it's a React arrow functional component again, and we will have add ticket as a component name. Okay, here we're gonna have a breadcrumb and the form. So let's import container from our React Bootstrap. So import React from React Bootstrap. We need container row call, and we change this one to container and row and call. Okay, and here we're going to have the page breadcrumb that we just created before, and we need to import that in our file. This will import for us, and we have a props waiting. That's page. We will say just new ticket, and that's it for the breadcrumb area. And what we can do now is simply copy this row, and we create a form here. So what I'm gonna do, before do that, let's save this file first. Let's go component, and in our component folder, let's create a form component, add new ticket form. So add ticket form. Inside, create a component file called add ticket form component.js, and React functional arrow functional component again, and this is the add function and form here. Let's load this one, import in our ticket page, and make sure this one displays correctly. Okay, so we need to import that from our component. So I'm gonna quickly import that, like not from breadcrumb components. Then this is the add new ticket form, and add ticket form dot component. Okay, just save that, and let's bring this add ticket component page in our app.js so that we can see the live update when we're saving our file and changing our file. Okay, here. Okay, I want to tell you one thing. If you just bring like this and put here, so it will just show at the bottom of this file. See here? So this is what we don't want. So later on we will use in the next video and future video we will use React router to route our page. I just wanted to keep the React router tutorial itself. That's why I'm not doing that. But for now, what we can do, simply we comment this out and then we leave everything there. And now we have the page, new ticket page with the heading and the footer. So leave the console open just in case if we get any error. So this warning, I can comment this out and this out just to remove the warnings. Still got one more warning in header. Navbar is defined but never used. Let's see. Header component navbar. Okay, brand, we didn't use that. Okay, this should be clear now. Okay. Okay, this is imported here. We have this ticket is ready to be displayed. So let's build up our add ticket form and go to our ticket form. So what we're gonna need, we will use few components from our library. Import strap from, sorry, the Jumbotron and form. So instead of div, we will have a Jumbotron. Oh, that seems misspelled here. Okay, Jumbotron, and inside Jumbotron we will have a form. If you remember, we have created form in our login form page. What we can do is simply we can copy that form if you don't want to type all. So here, form to form. Just copy that, just to being a little lazy. That's okay sometimes, but more you type the better you become at. Just come. Okay, we need button too. Button. So let me quickly take you through. So we have a Jumbotron and we have a form, autocomplete off, and on submit, handle on submit function we will have to define. So we will be receiving this form, this function as a props, and then what we need is the subject, and the type is text. If it's text, you don't have to say anything. Name is subject, because I just want to quickly show you guys. This is what we are going to build. We need subject, issue found, add details, and this form and add new ticket. Okay, this is what we're building. So value is, I'm just gonna comment this out. On change function, we're gonna need on change, handle on change as well. So we'll receive as a props. Okay, that's it for the subject. I'm gonna name subject. Okay, not password. We need type date, name date, issue date, and no placeholder for this. We need on change, value no need for now, and I need one more. That is I need is text area. So this one basically turns our input into a text area, and we can even define the rows. I'll tell you in a second what's that. If I save this one, it's probably gonna throw some error. Oh, didn't. Okay. So this, you see the text box area is pretty small. If you want to make it bigger, you can pass the rows equals to maybe 5. So This one will be a bit bigger, and we want this button all the way through the axis. So the button, I'm gonna give class name. Oh, actually you don't need class name. You can just pass the block property here. It will make the button going across the thing, but I want the variant blue, variants are info, just to match the color as per our color theme color. Subject, password, and not password, issue found. I think that should be enough. We don't have to say it. The form group is row we need to define here. We need to bring it in, and then call as well. So okay, we got the row defined here. Just give this one a column, and then we need to tell in which screen size we have to give, like in how the number of column. So anything bigger than a small screen size take up 3 column in our grid, because it comes with 12 column grid. So 3 column will be taken by this one in bigger than small screen size. And for this form control, we need to wrap up in call, and we also have to provide the number of column we want to take up. So when we save it, see, it's showing like this. This is what we want. So let's do same thing for this one and leave this one as it is. So I'm gonna copy this for the form group, and this one for the label, and the goal for the control, form control. We wrap in the column. Save it. Okay, now that looks okay. So now enter email. That must be subject. Okay, so our form is pretty much ready in terms of UI. So let's implement the function. We need to create these 2 functions, remember that at least. Let's go to our add ticket page, which is calling our function. So let's create 2 functions first here, and because we need to receive the data from the form, right? So handle on submit, so I'll do that later. First, let's do handle on change. That means every time you input something on the input field, we need to receive that data. So every time you put something here, we receive as an event, and then we can simply get that value, const name and value from e.target. If you want to see, we can do that by consoling out the name and value. And if I save it and do console, if I type it here on handle change, have to be passed first. Let's pass as a props the same name as a function. So you can see the name is subject, and value is whatever we are typing. So let's create our local state where we can capture the value here. So we need to use state for that. Use state is a hook in React. So I'm gonna need let's do one thing. Const initial form data is the object where we have subject, I'll just make sure I put the same name as that subject, issue date, and details or detail in our object. So subject is empty, issue date is null, and the detail is empty as well. And make sure we get comma. And in our form data, let's define state as form data. So again, guys, this can be anything you like. So I like to put form data as a variable and set form data as a function to update the value of variable. So as an initial value, I will pass this empty so that we don't get any error. And we need to import use state from our React. Use state, yeah. And now we have this one. So every time we receive the value, what we can do is now we can say set the state, set the value in our state, but what you do is that keep whatever you have already in the form, in the object, if as it is. This one means it's a spread operator, means you get all this one with if there is any value here first, and anything is a new name. If anything comes, you can update that value. So you need square bracket to get the exactly same name, otherwise it will translate as a value. That's going to be error, so you need to put in a square bracket. So, and then the value itself, that will create our state. And we can, what we can do, we can now just okay, let's remove this out for now. So what we can do, we pass this value back to our component so that we can display the value on the object, on the input field. Otherwise you won't be able to see here. So I'll say form dt, start from form dt is form data equals to our form data. This form data is this form data. So let's go and receive this this props in our add ticket form. Put it there. Destructure the props, and now we can simply pass a value as a form data dot subject. Where is the date value? Okay, here. Form data date and form data details. So issue date, not date, because the name is the one holding the value. Okay, now I can see we have few error coming. Value props on unhandled. Consider empty string to be clear component. Okay. To avoid those kind of error, guys, again, let's use the props types to take our static data type. So in this form, let's use import prop types as prop types. So what we're gonna do is make sure we're going to take the props types coming into this component. It's an object. We pass the input values, the props values here, and So the way we do is that we provide prop types dot this one is function and is required. Okay, and we're gonna do same thing with unhandled change, and this the form data is object, so we have to change our function type to object type and save it. So anything error now will come here. This saying handle on submit is marked as required in a ticket form, but value is undefined. This is exactly why we need to use this one, just to make sure that sometime we might do wrong. I mean, forget or do mistake, it will remind us. So in our case, handle on change. See here, it's the same name. That's why I supposed to get handle on submit. And both of them are handle on submit, so that's definitely not right. So handle on submit, yeah, and we need, where is that? We haven't even created that function yet. That's why let's create that function quickly. I want to do let's prevent default behavior of the function and console.log received. Okay, for now, just choose for us to see, and let's pass this one. Okay, the error is gone. Now the props types is happy, handle on submit, handle on change, and just want to see what data we're receiving. You can simply console log here, just above the return, console.log, and log this out here, save it. Now you'll see every time this loads. So this is basically empty. See, every time I type, it's updating. Now the date and the details. Now I can submit the form. Since we said required, yeah, it's gonna ask for us to update the form. Okay, I can see that every time I change the value of this one, the value of this one is gone. So that's definitely not right. So I need to change that. See what's happening, because we are probably overriding the name. So subject is subject, yeah, issue date, and the detail going on unhandled change, handle on change, going back to here. So now so we need to create the effect, some use effect to re-render the data here. So it's like in component did mount in the old style. So let's use effect. So we need to import use effect as well. So what we're gonna say is that every time the value of the form data changes, update the component as well. Oops, wrong place. So it has to be under the ticket here, not inside a function. This use effect has to be direct descendant of the component. Okay, here this one's supposed to be form data. You guys would have already seen, because otherwise it will keep just putting the empty value from here. So it has to be the state. Now save that, it should work now. See, now we got all of them. Now even in our submit, let's clear this out. And if we submit, form submit request received, you can even print the state and see actually what data it holds. Save it quickly and there's the data, guys, which you can also see using our the React dev tool in our here. If you go to little up, next you go to our form, and here is the data, guys. It's from the state. See in the it's a props coming in, this props here coming in here. So here is the in the state hook. You can see in the state all our data is here. Okay, that I'm gonna close that for now. So that is pretty much it with the form, but I just remember I wanted to make the form in white color with the shadow box shadow. So let's make that one so that you guys know how to do that. So let's go there and let's go in our form. Okay, where is our form here? Okay, in our form, let's give class name to Jumbotron. I want to give add new set, and I want to give a little bit gap as well, so that's margin top maybe 3, and save that file. So here I want to create one style sheet for Jumbotron only for this one. So quickly let's create add ticket form .css, and here the style sheet. So that's add ticket form . Okay, save the file, and there I want background color. We don't need color, background white, and the box shadow 0 pixel 15 and -5 pixel with black color shadow. So when you save it, now you can see the shadow at the back, but I want this form color to be white. So seems like the Jumbotron default color is overriding it. So let's go back to ticket form, and here busy. There you go. Now we have like nice looking form. Maybe I don't want form to stretch all the way, so how about we provide, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, let's do one thing. So max width with 550 pixel. Okay, and now I want form to stay in the middle. So margin left auto, margin left auto, margin right auto. Save that. So the form now will stay in the middle. Nice looking form in the middle. Okay, so okay, let's put some heading, give some heading to this function, sorry, this form here, right under the jump button. I'll give h1 ticket and give the header line so it separates from the bottom. Yeah, okay, I want this text to be same color as this one and in the middle. So to do that, we can simply pass the class name equals to text info and text center. Save that. If I can spell it correctly, then it will work, right? Okay, there you go. We got our form ready for a new ticket. So there's one more thing I want to show you guys. If you want to know how to do the validation like this, okay, let's, for example, if we don't have this required form here, you can submit the form with the empty form. So there are two ways you can do like client-side validation. You just want use the default browser validation to kick in. You can simply say you need required, and it will force client to put the value before submitting the form. But let's say if you don't, you can still submit the form. But let's say if you want to also force them to put like a length, some sort of length of the text, then you can say basically min length. See, now if you put minimum like less than 3 character, it will say like tell you to put at least 3 character. You can also do max if you want to limit the length of the ticket. So this is not the, let's say, not the only way you validate the form. You always have to validate form in the backend, no matter what you have validated or tested the front end. The other way, if you want to make more fancier, you can make some function to do that for you. I just want to show you that one as well, just for you to. I'll create a helper utility function. Let's create a folder called under the src utils, and inside I'm gonna make folder. Let's have a file validation.js. So here let's do some same thing with the function. Let's create a function called const text and get string, and here we return if string is greater than 3 and is less than or equals to 100. So what we're saying is that if the string which is coming here is longer than the string dot length, the length of the string is more than 3 character, actually make bigger or equals to, or smaller or equals to 100 character, then return true, otherwise false. So we export this function and save the file, and let's use this validation to validate our, let's say, one field. Let's go here and import that function. Let's go to our validation, sorry, the utils and the validation. So, and now we can simply, in our submit function, remember, oh, not here, actually. So this one, hang on, not in the form. The state is in our page, not in the form. Our add new ticket page, this is the state where we have here. So here let's import that here first. and use this function. Go to our handle on submit, and call that function. Let's say const is valid function, and pass the string here. Okay, let's pass the subject. Okay, so form data dot subject. So let's use wait. We don't run the second line of the code. Wait until the result of this validation is come back. So we need to define async here. So this is async and wait, so that we wait the return from this function. Okay, if this one is valid, that's fine. If it's false, then what we can do is we create another state here. Let's say now initial form data. Let's create the initial error data, initial form error. So when you have form error, we update this one. So we update the error message here. So we need to create another state. So instead of form data error, and update that to here as well, and pass this initial value to the state, and use this parameter, the state value, and go to our handle on submit again, and we set the value. This is the function to set this value, right? So go here, and if it is false, then update the value. So what we're going to have, we're going to this is short text, right? So for example, we know this one for form.subject, so that's we can put here. Let's first we have the data which already we have there, spread that data here, and then update this one with this one, maybe say is subject valid. So provide the subject is subject valid. So if it is true, it will return true. That means is valid true. If it is false, it will come false here, and we write down subject false. So let's pass this state down to our form. This state down through our form here is props, like how we send the data before. Save it, and let's go to the form, and first thing, let's make sure we're receiving the object properly. So we do props check, and we have to structure the props here and provide the props as well. And here what we can do in the subject, just below the text form control, what we can do is form.text, and now if the form data dot, if it is false, then say subject is required, and we definitely need to close it. Okay, save the file. So now see, there is, you can already see that. Okay, give the class name text danger, so it will make a red color here. So that means what we have to do is that by default it's showing subject is required, because when we go to our add ticket page in our state, they are all empty. So that means at the beginning they are false and false and false. So by default error false, and don't forget to pass the the state to the use effect to have the effect here. So actually what we can do even better, we don't need to test anything. So if it comes true, make it false here, because this one only returns if it is true, returns true. If it is false, it returns false. So if you get true, that means we update this one value as a false, which is like false, that means nothing to do. And if it is comes false, if the return comes from here is false, then we make this one to true here and then update. So that means subject, so the form error subject is true. That means in that case we need to have that, let's say error is true, and if error is true, then we will go back and in our ticket form, if it is true only, then show this one. So that means if only it's true, then show this one. So in our case, if you just press A and let's say we are not putting long enough, then when we submit it, I need to remove that one first. So A, just one character, sorry, S, one character, and try to submit, it will say like this. And what you also want to do is on submit, every time you want to reset this part, right? This error message. If you want to reset that error message, simply what you do, update the state here. Where is it? Update this state as an initial form. So that means it will reset the form. So let's go to submit handle. So first, update the state to initial state first. Every time the submit comes, and after that do the validation, and if there is error, update it and save that. So that way, when you submit, like let's say one time you submit invalid data, also error, but next time when you submit, will be gone. So yeah, that's, let's see in the console if there is any error that to be fixed. Okay, this is all the objects, data. Okay, no error so far. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's all for the add ticket form as well. The add new ticket. So it seems like, yeah, that's pretty much what we wanted. Yeah, based on our prototype. Okay, let's push code to, so let's commit the code first. I'll leave all the console and everything still there in case if you want to check it. I'm not cleaning up yet, okay? So I'm gonna do git status. Let's make sure I haven't deleted anything that I don't need it. Okay, yep. Git add all, git commit add new ticket form added. And now we've been committing for a while now. I will just push this code to repo. Okay, now we can mark this add new ticket page UI as done as well. Okay guys, this ticket getting pretty long. Not ticket. Okay guys, this tutorial getting pretty longer now. So what I want to do it is maybe we finish this tutorial here, and then for the next these two pages we will create in another tutorial, because I'm going to show you how you can create the table where you can search live data and update the table based on your live search. Okay, so we keep that on for the next tutorial guys. And if you have any question, write in the comment section, or any suggestion, give me suggestion in the comment section. And again guys, if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, and if you want to receive tutorial like this, make sure you hit that red button to subscribe the channel and turn on all the notification. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up that gives me some motivation to go on. And with that saying, I'll see you in the next tutorial, and you have a fabulous day. Bye for now.